Yo, 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 what's going on, man? Another episode. I'm saying, cast, man. Appreciate you guys. Who's gonna show up and appreciate you guys tuning in, listening. You know what I'm saying? What's going on, bro?
Man, nothing much, man. I'm just another day of talking about issues and, you know, the world around us and how
Hmm.
we can resolve things with solutions and everything on Yah'm saying podcast.
Yeah, yeah, man. And that's one thing. You know, that's one thing I think about, man. You know, where we started with the point of the podcast, and we kind of like transform. I'm pretty sure to transform again. But you know what I'm saying. But we talking about these issues, man. Always black positive, always about our people, man. Um, yeah, yeah, man. So one of the things I wanted to jump into was last week I went to real estate, like a conference. You know what I'm saying? And man, that was like eye opening. I know you participated into it. You know, you've been doing it for years now. Um, but it was really eye opening because when talking about like black economics, you know what I'm saying? A lot of people talk about it in this idea of collectivism, you know what I'm saying? But it's really where we aren't, you know what I'm saying? And where black people can go to, you know what I'm saying, to build that wealth. Again, the black white wealth gap is still quite large because of racial policies in the past that affect us today. You know what I'm saying? One of those things that I shared during that real estate thing was because people always talk about what black the problem is black people buying Gucci and red bottoms and going out here spending money on alcohol and buying all it, and like that's not the problem. The
Yeah.
problem is capital. You know, having capital, being able to pass down that capital, being able to have a savings account, being able to have a 401k, being able to have, a life insurance plan that you can pass down to your children. Like those are the issues. And also significant government policies, much like
Mhm.
white men had after World War II. It was a significant government policy that allowed white men to actually build wealth and white people overall to build wealth and pass down that wealth. You know what I'm saying? So
I
they,
agree.
what's that?
No, I said I agree.
Yeah, yeah. And so they shared this number that shows the numbers of the black white wealth gap, and and I was like, yeah, man, that just shows what has been taken from us. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
And not necessarily where we are. You know what I'm saying? It's just what's been taken. But outside of that, I think that the thing that stood out to me was that um how little we participate in the real estate market. You know what I'm saying? As far as going to these auctions, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And myself included. I'm including myself because I was very ignorant on the real estate process. You know what I'm saying? Because it sounds like a daunting thing, like such a big process that you have to do. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But it's about building a team and having confidence. Number one, I think that was the main thing I got out of that. But there's a lot of areas of real estate economics because real estate is the one thing that can't be shipped overseas. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? And so, I think that's and that's all I was thinking about in that conference was like, yo, this is how black people need to participate. This is the area, you know what I'm saying? Whether black people are buying homes or buying land and putting, my big idea is to recreate. I don't want to put it out there because I don't want nobody to steal it. But but my big idea is really to reimagine the mobile home market, putting modular homes on, you know what I'm saying, on land and things of that nature. And really, when people talk about building the black community and things of that nature, one of the ways you can do that, in the area I live in, there's a lot of dilapidated housing, you know what I'm saying? So it is going into these dilapidated homes and, you know, knowing what hard money is and contractors and and the biggest nugget I got out of there was you don't spend your own money.
Yeah, seller's financing. all of these different financial tools, where you don't have to rely on the big financial banks,
Mhm.
right? All of these things are very, very important, and we, as the Black community, really have to start honing in on how to um, utilize the financial institutions properly, because for hundreds of years we have been not included to where we have to understand how young we are to the accessibility that that is so key, that we have to, in this race, we have. And when I say race, I mean, march, set,
Ready,
go.
set,
type-
go. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Mhm.
like that kind of race. You have to understand that we are already laps behind.
Mhm, mhm,
And as time goes on and we don't start focusing on uh, moving ourselves away from service
mhm.
to actual participation in financial transaction, um, that that is what's going to change things for us in our community.
Yeah, yeah, most definitely, man. Shoot, I mean, I knew what high yield savings accounts were, but I didn't really like look into it. You know what I'm saying? The percentages and things of that nature. You know what I'm saying? And also, one of those things that I'm going to be doing is investing. You know what I'm saying? 'Cause at the end of the day, I'm at the age where all right, I got to leave some stuff behind. You know what I mean? I don't
Yeah,
want my kids to be struggling in their 40s. You know what I mean? I want
yeah,
them to enjoy their life, and so that's really what I want to prepare for. And so, yeah, it really is like, and you made a great point in that, we do have to move out of these service jobs, right? The majority of Black people work service jobs. They work, and service jobs are hotels, working retail, uh, um, where else is there? Retail, working at McDonald's and other, and hospitality. You know what I'm saying?
yes,
Yeah,
yes.
outside of us and certain Latino groups,
Hmm.
we make up the great majority of these numbers. And the problem with that is that in these service industries, um, uh, dang it, I wish I'd have brought this up during the thing. But
Hmm.
anyway, in these service industries, it's not a lot of money. Is generally minimum wage, maybe $15 an hour. You know what I'm saying? There's no benefits. There's no benefits. There's no paid time off. There's no education business. Maybe there might be some healthcare if you work for, if you work for a good McDonald's, or a good hotel, you know, service. You know what I mean? You're not
Hmm.
the management, hotel management. That's different. Yeah,
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 yeah.
yeah, yeah. So yeah, 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 man.
Is it again? It's the understanding the things that we have to get into, the understanding the cap margins in industries.
Mm,
Um, where in the service industries, the cap margins are very small.
yeah.
In the financial industries, they're larger, which means you can capture some of the capital in those areas. Um, and that's why you will have a faster and longer success.
Mhm.
I'm not a financial advisor, but but me sitting here being an investor, it's some of the things that I really have to start learning,
Mhm.
and also listening to people who have paved the way before I did. I'm not
Right.
trying to come in here and trying to reinvent the wheel, and so forth. Will I tweak the wheel? Yeah, eventually.
Mhm,
Um,
mhm.
but right now, it's about trying to take that wheel and get it rolling.
Yeah. Yeah, man, and we really have to input into our younger generation. You know what I'm saying? Hey, get away from these jobs. High yield savings account. You know what I'm saying? Like all these other things. You know what I'm saying? because they are going to get into the gig economy. They're going to be more entrepreneurial because they like their time and things of that nature. Well, that comes with you understanding the market and understanding, you know what I'm saying, economics, man. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, black people, we've been working in these service jobs, you know what I mean? And I get it. People can make look, you're an entrepreneur. You can go be a barber, beautician, you know what I'm saying? I get it. If you own a shop, that's good.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Can you pull up the screen?
Oh yeah, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, let me
Yeah.
mm,
So I don't know if you can zoom in to clearly see some of the numbers.
no,
Um,
no. You got to zoom in on your end.
okay, let me
Mhm.
try to do that. No.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
Okay.
But
Uh-oh.
what you're looking at is the black home ownership numbers.
So again, these are the states, you know, numbers by black home ownership, and um, man, as you see in Maryland, 52%,
Mhm.
and I think that's literally some of the top numbers
Mhm.
uh, in real estate.
Mhm.
Well, Delaware 54.
Mhm.
You got South Carolina that got 55%, right?
Mhm.
But here's the difference: when you start looking at the comparison, now you're talking about upwards of 70%
Mm.
and higher.
Wealth concentration.
This is wealth concentration,
Right. Mhm.
and this is what we have to understand. Well, how did it get the wealth? Well, we know one of the legs is through home ownership.
Yeah.
And like I tell some of my friends who, you know, oh man, I'm thinking about buying a house, but the interest rate's too high.
Mm. Mhm.
You can't worry about the interest rate
Yeah.
because the interest rate today is not the interest rate tomorrow.
Mhm.
And again, you don't want to be caught up where, think about, if people were getting ready 5 years ago,
Mhm.
they would have end up with a lower interest rate.
Mhm.
And this is, you can't time the market, but you can time the market.
Yeah.
But again, this goes back to what we were talking about as far as we have to study these things.
Yeah.
We cannot be stuck in these silos where we're sitting here talking about, is you know is Shay Shay gay?
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? That
for real.
that foolishness.
Yeah. Yeah, for real. There are more people that could tell you about that stuff than anything else.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You know,
Mhm.
all the people that and I watched the Cat Williams and Shay Shay, but the point is, if that's the content that you're constantly consuming,
Mhm.
you really have to start second guessing yourself as far as the information you're taking in,
Right.
because turning around and then complaining that you can't afford this, this isn't going right. Oh, I'm tired of America, or I'm tired. It's the decisions that you are making on a day by day, and not to make it like individualistic,
Mhm, mhm, mhm.
but it's a leg of how you have to play in the capitalistic society.
Yeah.
It's not 100%, but it's a portion of trying to figure out how to maneuver when you have a terrible president or a terrible Senate, a terrible House that is causing the market to either crash because some of the laws that they are pushing forward, and so forth. You have to figure out how to maneuver within that.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah, no, that's no, that's true, man. Um, you know, yeah, and that was the biggest thing I learned from that real estate. Um, class. I mean, I always knew that, but you don't worry about the interest rate. A lot of people are like looking at 7%, and it's generally 7 to 6%. You know what I'm saying? So 6% is the norm. So it goes to
Mhm.
6%. Look, man, I see all these folks building homes. I see all these big realtors building. They're building the home, so they're not worried about the interest rate. You know what I'm saying? So you shouldn't be worried about it either. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah.
So yeah, 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 man. So all right, man. The other thing that happened was Trump sneakers, man. The insurrection sixes, man.
Oh, man.
Trump put out Trump put out these hold on for a second. Trump put out these golden sneakers during a uh sneaker event in Philly, I believe. Um yeah, sneaker event in Philly. And yeah, man. That guy, man. And, look, and there are people who are trying to convince people who are trying to make this correlation of, somehow putting out sneakers is going to bring,
Oh,
black vote or
okay.
something like that. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, people need to understand something about Trump, man. Why Trump is running for president? Trump is running for president because if he runs for president, then he can pardon himself.
Mhm.
That's why he's running for president.
Which
You know
has
what I'm
never
saying?
been done.
Right, right, right.
Mhm.
Yeah, people don't even know whether it's legal or not. You know what I'm saying? But with the makeup of the Supreme Court, you know what I'm saying? People are saying they would find some legality in it, right?
Mhm.
Because it's a 6-3 conservative court. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? The Supreme Court is not supposed to be conservative and or liberal. They're supposed to be neutral players, but unfortunately, the Republicans have been playing the long game since Reagan to put individuals in the Supreme Court who are ideologues. And so, what you have right now is a Supreme Court that would pardon Trump. Was that they would, just
Yeah.
call it what it is. Um, and so part of the Trump campaign is doing things like this, right? They're trying to he put out the sneakers to try to reach out to the young voters. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm. Mhm.
Younger voters, because the younger voters are consumers. Not only are they consumers, they are hyper consumers. You know
Yes.
what I mean? Because some Yahoo bought these sneakers for $9,000.
And then he turned around and complained about he couldn't afford, groceries and so forth. That's what they found out.
Oh my gosh, man.
Because of Joe Biden.
Yeah, of course, because of Joe Biden, man. Of course, man. And it is yeah, it is I mean, it always I won't say it will always fascinates me, but it always makes me kind of shake my head how gullible people are, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But it just shows how it just shows that Americans are look at the insurrection sixes right here. Insurrection sixes. But it just shows how Americans view politics, right? Charlemagne was saying this, you know what I mean, politics is entertainment. Politics is not entertainment.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because politics has effect on your life. It is not entertainment. It is
Mhm.
not entertaining. It
Mhm.
is people who are passing legislation that will affect your life. Um, Again, it doesn't matter who the Republican is, whether it's Nikki Haley or Trump. The the Republican Party as a whole, they're going to raise your Social Security, age to collect Social
Mhm.
Security to 75.
Mhm.
That's what they're going to do.
Yeah.
You not, and they hoping you don't reach 75, and you will be inputting your money not only into taxes but also into the Social Security
You will
program.
not get that back.
You will not get that back. But they also are hope what they want to do is they want to change the Social Security as well. So they want to make it more like a 401k. You know what
Mhm.
I'm saying? Now, why is that important? Because if you put money into the market, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, you could probably have an estate or something where your generations can collect it. Maybe, who knows? You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? More than likely not.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? more than likely not. And so, so yeah, man, elections have consequences. There's nothing entertaining about, there's nothing entertaining about, you know, a Trump, what I mean, or any politician. You know what I'm saying? Um, yeah, there's nothing entertaining about it. You know? Yeah,
Yeah, and again, the reason why Charlemagne said something like that because he had to carve out a space for himself,
there it
right?
is. There it is.
Um, like people got to understand, man. When you start to see these personalities, these are millionaires, man. And if you think that they're not going to protect their wealth first, as they're using you, the eyes, as being gullible, um, to be a placeholder, man, you got one thing mistaken.
Mm,
Like it. It's easy to sit back and say, well, yeah, it happens on both sides, right?
mhm,
But the difference is when someone is using your eyes for you to have a clear benefit.
mhm,
And this is what we don't have with people like Charlemagne,
mhm,
people like uh freaking what's his name? Alex Jones. Um,
mhm.
you know, matter of fact, Cenk Uygur is now going into that territory.
Yeah, he's going right. Yeah, yeah. I stopped listening to him.
Yeah, it's just all entertainment,
Mm,
outrage news.
yeah.
Why he placate and pretend that he's still a leftist. Um, the same thing is happening. You know, you can go down the line. You're talking about Tim Black. Like th- th- they're all doing this for your eyes, and in comparison, people would say, "Well, you guys are doing that too." Nah, well, we ain't getting paid off this, and
Yeah, yeah.
we're not looking to get paid off of this.
Mhm, mhm,
We are simply looking to give the information in the context, using historical context for the information to better ourselves.
mhm.
And it doesn't matter on white, black, green. It does not matter. It's the fact of we have to have the knowledge so we can point this stuff out and see that the same thing that Donald Trump has said, that he can be the savior. Cenk Uygur is saying that he can be the savior. It's a problem.
Yeah. Yeah, 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 man. It is, and with Trump putting out these sneakers, man, again, it is to again, I said earlier, that the one thing Trump understands consumers. That's what he understands. And he understands that the younger generation are consumers. Not only are they consumers, they consume brands, much like black people.
Yeah.
Black people consume brands. You know what I'm saying? And in the consumption of brands, you can be manipulated.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? You can be manipulated. You know what I'm saying? It's like how black people kept Cadillac in business. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? Because it's a brand.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Black people wanted Cadillacs. It's like black people buying Jordans or black people buying, name your brand. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I remember, of course, this anecdotal, but going to ShopRite, right? And ShopRite would have those, those brands, and it would just say cornflakes,
Mhm.
or it would just say, it wouldn't have no brands on it. You know what I'm saying? And if you had any of that in your house, you're gonna get picked on.
Mhm.
Somebody gonna be ranking on you, as they called it back in the day. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Today, called bust. Somebody gonna be busting on you today. You know what I'm saying? Back in the day, you know what I'm saying? Because you didn't have name brands. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Yeah. Shoot, I remember, like it took me a while. Like I remember, grandma would be like, "Hey, go in the Frigidaire." Go in the
Yeah.
Frigidaire and go grab the XYZ, you know what I'm saying? Well, Frigidaire was a name brand. I didn't know that until I was hit my 20s, and I'm like, "Wait a minute." My grandpa was calling this knockoff refrigerator a Frigidaire because it was a name brand, you
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
and yeah, and in that, because it's a name brand and people look at Trump as a brand, you know
Mhm.
what I'm saying? They look at as much like black people who support Deion Sanders. Black people support Deion Sanders because he's a brand. So within that, you can be manipulated. And part of the manipulation is this dude on Fox News who talks about, oh, well, Trump can sell these sneakers and it's going to appeal to black people. You know what I'm saying? And then you get yahoos out here who see two black people and they're like, well, I guess they're right.
Yeah. Yeah. In
I've
a room
always,
full of Asians and whites. Yeah.
I was yeah, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Because again, it's the ignorance of like not knowing where the whole concept of sneakerheads started, where it was started with suburban kids, right?
Hmm.
Like not knowing that we already had the culture.
Right. Right.
Like we were already wearing that stuff, matching the sneaker with
Right.
maybe a shirt or a color in the shirt to sit back. You know what I'm saying? Because that was our drip. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
We just didn't
And
call it sneakerhead.
yeah, we ain't calling no sneakerhead. And
Mhm.
just like, of course, we didn't have that because we was poor. You know what I'm saying? I was speaking for all the people that we used to see with all the
We used
different
to
sneakers.
see, yeah, the ones we used to see. We
You
saw
know,
y'all matching with the sneaker.
yeah, we saw y'all. We didn't participate. We couldn't.
We couldn't, man. Later on in life, we did. Later on.
Yeah, yeah. But you, it's no way that you have to create something that was already there.
Mhm, mhm, mhm.
And again, this is when people say stuff like that, man. And again, the reason why that Fox host said that is because it's the constant playing on the ignorance of people, because most people are, and this is just being honest, man, are just simple minded.
Mhm, mhm.
This is why we, catchy slogans
Mhm.
and those kind of things where, where you're not looking into the slogan, you're not trying to find out where it came from, you're not trying to find out the details of the slogan. You're just sitting here taking the slogan and then making an anecdotal thought around that pertaining your own individual life.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah, man, and it is, but, the thing is how little or how they view black people, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, you know what I'm saying? How they view black people, you know what I mean? You just view black people in these simple terms and hopefully they don't hopefully I'm gonna play this, hopefully.
Other than the sneaker thing, I was on social media last night. Very interesting as you see black support eroding from Joe Biden. This is connecting with Black America because they love sneakers. They're into sneakers. They love this is a big deal, certainly in the inner city. So when you have Trump roll out his sneaker line, they're like, wait a minute, this is cool. He's reaching them on a level that defies and is above politics. The culture always trumps politics. And Trump understands culture like no politician I've ever seen.
Question for you on that point, though.
Yeah.
Will the people that are excited about the sneakers and excited about Donald Trump, will that translate into them going out and voting for Donald
Well,
Trump?
anybody willing to put $400 down for a pair of sneakers? Yeah, I think that's commitment and love.
I
It's
hope you're
something.
right.
It's
No. No,
No,
Chief.
see
No, Chief.
what he doesn't understand. What one I have to question. What is he talking about? Bring them down to the level. And I noticed that he switched his hand when he went lower and then went higher.
Mhm,
Again, the hands are telling a lot to me. Where
mhm,
what he was doing was saying Donald Trump came down to a lower understanding of this group, and
mhm,
then he raised the hand up. So,
mhm.
you know what I'm saying? Like you just gotta pay attention to what is being done.
And
Um,
yeah.
And again, it's what we're talking about is the low, like how they think of us is a low standard.
Mhm.
They think that we don't understand what's going on. They think that um we can't we can't see the guy who's selling the snake oil because there are people that are placating like Donald's down in Florida, like
Mhm.
Tim Scott, like certain people because they sit back and just play like they're just, you know, a furniture in the room.
Mhm.
They assume like all of the black people are like that.
Mhm. Nah, they do, like, and, and what stood out to me was, like, again, this idea to connect Black people to the inner city.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, the data showing Black people are moving out of the inner city. There's probably not that many of us in the inner city. You know what I'm saying? We're although we might be renting homes in the suburbs or in certain areas, we've been moved out of the inner city now for about 20 years
Yeah.
now. And so, but they also understand, what I mean, making that comment, you, well, I won't say that. Never mind.
Hmm.
Um, because it is about the concentration of Black people. You know what I mean? Black people live next to other Black people. You know what I'm saying? And then all of a sudden, when Black people live next to Black people, it becomes the inner city.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, 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 yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the context. You know what I'm saying? Because there's Black people who live in the inner city in Chicago, and there's Black people who live outside of Chicago. I
Mhm.
think there's more Black people who live outside of Chicago, but it don't matter. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And again, this idea again, this is somebody who is looking outside of the culture, who has no connection at all to Black folk. Again, the studies say that Black people will have four white friends, white people will have no or one Black friend. You
Mhm.
know what I'm saying? And when they have that one Black friend is placating them. You know what I'm saying? Is basically mirroring them. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? And so
My
not
white
present.
friend is wearing hunting gear, so I'm gonna wear hunting gear.
I'm aware. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
It's
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Byron Donalds, he does code switching a lot. When he's talking to a Black person, he sounds way different than when he's
Mhm.
talking to white folks. You know what I'm saying? He
Yeah.
sounds totally different.
Oh, I
Um,
noticed that when he was talking to Roland Martin.
yeah, or when
Yeah.
he was interacting with Bowman up in New York.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
all of a sudden, his voice get a little swag to it, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And he starts talking in that little, in his vernacular, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean? But because he's not his authentic self when he's around his white colleagues. You know what I'm saying? And that panel, again, bunch of white folks. There's no Black
Mhm.
people there. Even if they do have a Black person there, that Black person is not connected to the culture in any way, shape, and or form. You know what I'm saying? And so they get this misinformation. You know what I mean? And I remember talking to Dr. Ham, and Dr. Ham made oh no, he commented one time and saying, white supremacy forces, the dominant society not to learn.
Yes. Yeah.
You don't have to learn what Black culture is. You don't have to learn what sneakerhead culture or where it came from. You know what I'm saying? Sure,
Yeah.
the foundations are rooted in Black people who were wearing sneakers, matching the
Mhm.
sneakers. We made songs. We made "Stomping with My Air Force Ones." We made Run DMC, My Adidas. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Not only sneaker culture, we made Tim's famous. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? The beef and broccolis, the butters. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
We made all these things famous. We made red bottoms famous. We made all these things famous. And it is and so they don't understand that. Like we didn't say, oh, we're sneakerheads. No. Before Adidas, cats was wearing Bally's, or they were
Mhm.
wearing Elises, or they were wearing of course, New Balance came in back in and now. They were wearing Avias. They were wearing,
Yeah.
yeah, man, people were wearing all type British Knights. The reason British Knights, go look at those commercials. Those commercials are marketed towards Black people. The British nice. That's what I say. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like they're marketed towards black people because black people were the ones making them famous. The Reebok pumps. We made them things famous. We just didn't create us say, oh, we're sneakerheads and sneaker culture.
Yeah.
Remember the $30 Reeboks? We
Yep.
made we made them famous. Like I go on and on about this stuff,
Yeah.
man. You
Yeah. The
know,
hustlers.
oh yeah, yeah. Hey, them hustlers, man. They wear the Reeboks with the cuff,
Yeah.
with
Yeah.
the cow and the
Look.
polo and button down.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
hey, when the hustlers and the drug dealers used to know how to dress.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. These guys
Yeah.
ain't dressing now. They bumming.
Yeah. I know. White t-shirt.
White t-shirts, some skinny jeans is hanging on their ass, man. It's terrible, man. You know what they look like. You know what
Yeah.
they look like. Police know what they look like. Yeah, can't even blend in.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
no, you're pointing out a lot of different stuff, right?
Mm,
Um, and again, man, God darn, we talk about it so much that you just like, and it's right in everybody's face where we would do something and then it's repackaged.
right. Mhm,
Black women and big lips. You know what I'm saying? Black women and big butts.
mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Like it that blew my mind when black women started getting BBLs, but you know what I'm saying? Like I ain't understand
Yeah,
it. But
understand.
but but again, when you face the repackaging of um of a of something and it's sold back to you. This is the capitalist system that we sat back and talked about in early on, where you start trying to understand how to operate within this system, which it goes back to consuming the right things to get ahead economically. Um, and these these are some of the ways that we get kind of spun around.
Mhm,
And that is sort of what's happening right now. The election of Donald Trump um, solely has spun black people around on their head, and they can't figure out which way to go.
mhm,
And we have to figure out what's what's being sold to us
mhm.
and what snake oil that's being sold to us, whether it's material or politics.
Yeah. Yeah, man. I always implore people to go look at a video that was created by the original owner of BET. Can't remember his name. Johnson.
Oh yeah.
Black guy. He made a video 1963, I think. It was called How to Market to the Negro or something like
Mhm.
that. How to market to the Negro or something. How to sell to the Negro. But basically the whole point was to bring eyes, as JY said, bring those eyes to bring those eyes to television, and those eyes would drive ads. Roland Martin talks about this all the time. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Where black eyes go is where the revenue goes. You know what I mean? Black people built Fox. Black people built the CW. Black people are right now currently building Tubi.
Yep.
You feel what I'm saying? And so, but we ain't building nothing for ourselves. Anyway,
Yep.
anyway, but
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 yeah, so so
mm,
so so again, going back to Roland Martin, right? He was pointing out, as they were explaining that the whole BET deal, right? The
mhm,
reason why he had to sell was because it was starting to lose money.
yeah, mm,
And again, to tie it into economics, it's a reason why Bank of America, um, Chase Bank, um, Navy Federal Credit Union, those banks were denying black people and Spanish people at a high rate,
mhm,
right? Because in that commercial that you were talking about on how to market to black people, and I'm going to put that in quotations because I'm also talking about Spanish and brown people as
Mhm.
well, um, because they suffer the same thing, not at the same rate and so forth. But um, it a part of that is the psychological part of denying access.
Mhm.
So once you deny access for a long period of time and then give the access, then you upcharge.
Mhm. Right. 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 Right.
And if you notice what's happening to houses and what was going on after the Trump era was they then the prices of houses started skyrocketing. It was because under the Trump era, during his second term, black people started buying houses because the narrative was, yeah, there's nobody coming to save us.
Mhm. Mhm.
That was the realization. So the last term, right before COVID, black people started creating LLCs and all of this stuff to create businesses. And then when Joe Biden came, people continue to do so.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah, 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 man. It is you know, when talking about like black people driving culture, you know what I'm saying? Um people know this. People know, you know what I mean? If they want to make it big, they go to black people first. You know what I'm saying? This is why Miley Cyrus made her album. I'm not gonna lie, that Jones still fire. And I listen to it every once in a while. This is why Post Malone was a failing country star or rock or whatever he was doing before he started rapping. And now he's doing whatever it is he wants to do. You feel what I'm saying? Um,
Kid Rock.
yeah, Kid Rock. Yeah, Kid Rock was a rapper. He was a rapper. He
Yeah.
started rapping first. And on and on, man. You know what I'm saying? Black people drive culture in America. We drive culture. We drive popular culture in America. You know what I'm saying? And sneakers are a pop culture thing. And like JY said, you know what I'm saying? Sneakerheads did not sneakerheads became a thing so that white suburban kids can make money. That's what it was.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It became this thing to where, people, purchasing these sneakers. And of course there's a whole market now, out, with these rare sneakers that come out and, going to get these, it's a whole market that black people today participate in. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? But the
Because
black
again, the other part is blocking access.
Yeah, yeah, it's blocking access because you couldn't get the capital. Because a lot of these
Yeah.
white kids who lived in the suburbs had the capital in order to start a lot of the blogs, start a lot of
Mhm.
it started with blogs, and then it started with magazines, and then once the internet came aboard, you know what I'm saying? It's YouTube and it's MySpace. It's, all these things that happen, you know what I'm saying, that black people were just held out of because you got to remember a lot of black households in the 90s to the early 2000s didn't have computers. They didn't have internet. Right
Mhm.
now, today, in 2024, uh, President Biden passed a law two years ago so
Yeah.
that people can get fiber optic. Fiber optic has been out since about 10 years now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that people can get broadband access. There are people today who don't have broadband access. You know what I'm saying? So just imagine what it was in the 90s and the early 2000s. You feel what I'm saying? You know what I mean? And so, you know, yeah, man, don't be fooled out here by these folks, man. I think this election is way too big and way too important to be out here trying to perpetuate this nonsense about, what I mean, about black people and sneaker culture. You know what I mean? We buy sneakers because we like them
Yeah.
and because we want them to match a Care Bear shirt.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like even younger folks, man, they just buy sneakers because they like them. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Yeah,
The
yeah, yeah.
game is to be sold, not to be told.
Not to be told, man. You know what I'm saying?
And that's what's happening.
Yeah. With that, man, just real quick, man, just trying to get people to understand with that, man. And a lot of times, a lot of times we black people talk about making change, but that change is not going to come unless black people in every state for the next 50 years vote at 70% or higher in the election. Other than that, it's not going to come. It's not going to happen. This is why I stopped having conversations about reparations. Reparations is never going to happen in your lifetime. It's not. And it's not going to happen because there are 50 states. And in 50 states, you can elect two senators, right? To give you 100. And then in those 50 states, you can elect 435 Congress members. So if you do not have the numbers, meaning you got to have 60% of the House, you have to have 60% of the Senate, and you have to have the presidency. And currently, you have to have the Supreme Court
Hmm.
because what's going to happen is going to get taken to the court, which is made up of conservative courts, and they are going to say no to your reparations bill or your reparations packets. That's what's going to happen. You dig what I'm saying? Right now, you can't even get voting rights passed because of because of two people in the Democrat Party, Joe Manchin and Christian Sinema, who are both going to lose their races.
Mhm.
Um, you just lost Roe v. Wade. You lost that because, in part, because of white women voting at 53% for Trump. You know what I'm saying? So you got three conservative judges, and you did not listen to Hillary Clinton, who was telling you that was going to happen. And if Trump wins another election, well, guess what's going to happen? Alito and Clarence Thomas are both going to retire. That means that there's going to be two conservative judges that be elected. So you're not going to get reparations unless black people vote at 70%
Yeah.
or higher. You know what I'm saying? And I need to figure out some way to get a megaphone to get this out to people. You know what I mean? Because every time I'm like, man, I don't have reparation conversations because the reality of the situation, the makeup of our Congress, the makeup of the House, the makeup of governorships. People need to understand this. The makeup right now, living in South Carolina, there is a trifecta government. That means that if somehow, which in America has proven because history is cyclical, so if the federal government somehow pass reparations, there are going to be opposition who's going to say states' rights, states' rights, states' rights. So they're going to want the money to come to the states. Well, what do you think is going to happen if you have a Republican governor, Republican control of a state Senate, and Republican control of a state House? You think you're gonna get reparations in South Carolina? No, you're not. You're not. They denied. There's South Carolina, Alabama, and Texas and Louisiana all denied federal funding to feed children this summer.
Hmm.
And you think you're gonna get reparate? Come on, man. Look,
Yeah,
we
they don't
we
even want to feed hungry children.
bruh, come on now. Come on, man. As they say, come on, Bo.
And
This
and
ain't
and
South.
and, and you know, to add on what just happened days ago, with women losing what is it? In vitro? I don't even know how to say
Yeah, IVF,
IVF.
in vitro fertilization.
Yeah.
Mm,
So again, rich white women problems. But
mm,
you know what I'm saying? Like, because they're the ones that can really afford that, maybe some upper
mhm.
class of black women. But again, it's because a lot of those women in that state, and what happened, the federal courts kicked it back down to the state courts.
Mhm.
So because they did that, it no longer is going back to the Supreme Court.
Can't go back.
So now it's law.
Yep.
So, so again, these women in Alabama are now screaming and hollering, like you said, when you probably should have just kind of listened. Even if you didn't like Hillary, you should probably listen to her and go look up the research.
Or have some foresight, man.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
have some foresight. Black people have foresight in this country because of how we've been treated, our experience. We can tell you, you know what I mean? Black people tell you, hey, don't vote for Trump. Don't do it.
Mhm.
Because it ain't gonna be good. X, Y, and Z gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? Because we understand how we've been treated, you know what I'm saying, in this country. You dig what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Black people who didn't want to vote for Theodore Roosevelt, though they voted for Wilson, one of the most racist president we've
Mm,
ever had. You know what I mean? Black people have foresight not to vote for to vote for John F. Kennedy, vote for Lyndon Baines Johnson. You know what I'm saying? Or not Lyndon Baines Johnson, but not vote for Reagan or not. Like,
mhm.
those black, but you know what I'm saying? Black people did vote for Nixon. They were wrong about that. Mainly black men. But anyway, black people have had foresight. You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying? In this to get people to understand. You know what I mean? To see the forest for the trees. You dig what I'm
yeah.
saying?
So,
Yeah, yeah.
again, as we're on this topic, man, Alabama sheriff just got done talking about, um, he was complaining about releasing the good inmates.
Mm.
And you want to know what state is currently now building more prisons?
It's probably Louisiana.
Ala- Yeah, buddy.
Yeah.
Louisiana and Alabama are building more prisons,
Mm.
and they are locking people up left and right.
I guess the 2 states that have one and 2 and where the, biggest group of black people live, Louisiana and Alabama. And here's the thing, and Gary Chambers talked about this, you know what I'm saying? Uh, Black folk not voting. Let me try to find this, real quick, you know what I mean? And how, elections have consequences, you know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And those elections have consequences for those women there because now guess what's happening because of the ruling by the state by the Alabama state Supreme Court because of those women um that's having because of the that's having the what's happening to those women in Alabama because of the decision by the courts there. Um, they're closing IVF.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they're closing it. They're like, "Oh, no, you're out of here. You already in a state that already started closing because of the abortion laws.
Mhm.
So women can't get health care."
Yeah.
I'm trying to tell white folks this all the time. Racism affects you too.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Racism affects
Yeah.
you too, man. Like,
There was a study that was talking about um like healthcare for all,
mhm,
um, you know, reparations, like all of these different things that like people, even the college, right?
mhm,
Free college. So
mm,
they took this poll in this group and realized even liberal whites, when it comes down to black people's gonna get this, I'm not gonna vote for this.
mhm, mhm.
That's what they found out in the study, that close to 80% of white people even deny, like they don't even want health care if everybody else gonna benefit.
Browse benefit, man. Nah, man. Why?
Like it's the
I don't want
damnedest thing.
I don't want no government handout.
Yeah, yeah. It's the damnedest thing,
It's
man.
the craziest thing, man. But this is Gary Chambers. He ran for a state seat, I believe.
Mhm,
In Louisiana. And this is he was talking about the governor. There was also a governor who was running against this Jeff Landry, and only he says it here 19% of the registered voters that elect him. 19% of registered voters elect this governor in Louisiana.
mm,
He said, I tried to tell y'all Governor Landry was going to be hell as a governor. Numbers don't lie. 2 out of 3 black people in Louisiana did not vote.
mm.
That's a fact. That fact is why we are here. We have a governor who is starting off by turning down money to feed kids and creating new ways to lock kids up in jail. He's also moving forward with new ways to start back up the death penalty in Louisiana. Mr. Pro Life, he's also showing that white conservatives get in power and start swinging. His swings won't make us safer or more prosperous as a state. He's doing what he told the 19% of the registered voters that elected him want. The other 81% of voters either didn't vote for him or didn't vote. So his thank you is stripping away rights and rejecting money to feed poor kids. I hope homecoming and the Saints trip to Houston was lit. Not going to lie to you. The raw truth must make some of you actually do your part. He's elected because too many of us decided everything else was important but the future of our home, paying taxes into the system every day and letting other people decide. Ooh, that's key right there. You pay taxes whether you like it or not.
Yeah.
And you participate and you don't want to participate in this. It is absolute people who tell me they don't vote. I'm like, but you pay taxes. That
Yeah,
don't make no
right.
sense. You pay taxes.
Yeah.
Whether you like it or not, you're gonna pay taxes. Anyway, paying taxes into the system every day and letting other people decide who represents you to spend that money is wild to me. This is real life. Yeah, man. Like for real. Like that's the reality of the situation, man. You living in this hostile state now. It's a
Yeah.
hostile it's a hostile state, man. And you deciding to live in that state, man, or to not participate, you know.
Yeah.
Because like we talked about earlier, you think that, and this is what we're talking about. Politics is not entertainment, man. It's
Yeah.
not. Kids are gonna go hungry.
Mhm.
Right? And the majority of those kids, again, when we talk about America is a racist country, that's because there are laws that are passed or there are policies that don't get accepted because that has racial outcomes. So the majority of that money that would have went to Louisiana would have went to the majority of Black kids, and Latino kids and Asian kids that live there in Louisiana. Um, and of course, there have been some poor white kids or some middle class white kids who would have been in that number as well. But again, when you talk about like there are things like this, you know what I'm saying? So when an individual like a Charlemagne the God is trying to tell you that politics is entertainment, no, it's not. Politics is life or death.
Yeah, being poor ain't entertainment to me.
No, man. Being poor ain't entertaining, dog.
No,
Not in no
no.
way, shape, or form, dog.
No. And,
You get out of here with that, man.
yeah, yeah. And
Get
and
out of
and
here with
again,
that, man.
man, um, all of this stuff, man, like I don't know what it's gonna take
Mhm.
for like black and brown people to like really get it through their head that man, we gotta stop playing games.
Yeah,
We really do. We gotta stop playing.
because the opposition ain't playing games, man.
No,
These folks are
you,
dead serious.
you have to fight today, tomorrow, next week, next month, next year. You can't lay down. All right, the problem with the liberals was during a period of time where they should have where they should have put the hammer down,
Mhm,
they laid down.
mhm.
Um, and again,
Most of them were white liberals,
yeah,
so
yeah, yeah, yeah,
they weren't
yes,
really
yes,
inclined to help black folk.
yeah, yes, yes. So again, going back to that same study, and I'm pretty sure if people do the research, they can go find this study where it's telling you even on the liberal side, they won't vote for anything that can help
Mhm,
minorities in any sense, even though they white people have a high poverty rate themselves
mhm.
in their group. Um, it it never seems to amaze me how we just can't understand these basic facts and learn how to play chess
Mhm, mhm.
in this world game.
To understand power, because one thing I always say, man, black people, we went from we went from protest to politics. We didn't go from politics to power.
Mhm.
Right? We just didn't. If you look at the numbers, we only participate in the Super Bowl of elections. So this is
Mm,
an election year.
mhm,
Black people are going to vote somewhere around 57, 60%. Again, that's too low.
mhm.
Last year, black people were voting at 30%. I think low. That is low. That
in the
a
midterm.
lot of the midterm election, runoff elections, black people don't participate in. And these are when a good majority, a good chunk of the elections are. You know what I'm saying? The elections that might be important. So you're electing your sheriff, right? You talked about the sheriff. You're
Mhm.
electing a DA, or you're electing, you know what I mean? Somebody to a seat, superintendent,
Mhm.
librarian, whatever. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? People get so disengaged from politics, but at the same time, and then they complaining about their life. And
Yeah.
it's like you don't understand the power of your taxes being used in a positive manner. That's
Mhm.
because you haven't been told that. You know,
Yeah.
you've been fed this thing of don't get government handouts. Meanwhile, much like Gary Chambers, meanwhile, Gary Chambers is uh, 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 Gary Chambers said that black people who didn't. I forgot where I'm going here. I done lost my
Talking
train of thought.
talking talking about the participation.
Yeah. Okay, I'm sorry. The participation. Yeah. Meanwhile, if black people would have participated in the rate in which they are represented,
Mhm.
you would have somebody who would have fed children. You know what I mean? He talked about while the governor is denying federal funds to feed children, he's going to use state funds in order to give tax breaks to crawfish farmers. Well, guess what? The majority of crawfish farmers are what?
Like,
They're white.
yeah.
So when people talk about government handouts, you know what I mean? Like you need to understand what government handouts are.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, man. Man, look, participating in politics is hard.
Hmm.
Um, and also keeping up with it is hard. But sometimes it can feel overwhelming,
Hmm.
right? But man, you gotta be able to pick out what's important, right? It's been a lot of little important things that happen um uh over the last few years that I think uh people don't like saying it, but low information voters won't get. Again, but if you understand uh Trump and the Republicans, they are going after the low information voters
Yes. Hmm.
because you're going to do one or two things. This is what their plan is. Either they're going to cause them not to vote, or they'll just vote for Trump
Hmm. Hmm.
because they don't have the proper information to
Hmm.
understand one, how their taxes are utilized, how government should function with those taxes,
Hmm.
and how the Supreme Court should function to not be a ruling court, but a court of the people.
Hmm. Yeah.
And a lot of this stuff ties in um with the information. If you understand the cyclical history of America, that there's always going to be a power structure that used the court nefariously.
Hmm.
That has always been in place. But again, there has always been a opposite side that tried to push society in a better place. Um, and this will always be the fight, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. But if we lay down, black people, Spanish people, poor white people, middle class white people, if we just lay down and don't
Hmm.
do anything, this is how you get where billionaires can write off up to 3 jets.
Yeah, right,
They can write off yachts.
Mhm.
This is how you get there, but not realizing that they're using your tax money
Yeah,
to pay for it.
yeah, for real, man. Yeah, for real. Yeah, man. We yeah, we've been on this topic for a minute, man.
Yeah.
Um, because I think it's important. You know what I mean?
God damn it,
And
go vote.
go vote, man. Try to get yeah, try to get no, no, that's my son telling me get a, I put a new Facebook pic up and I got a hat. Yeah, I'll wear the hat. I told my kids, man, because all my kids, how I used to wear the Kangos back in the day.
Yeah.
I wanted to get back in the hats. And I was like, yeah, I was like, oh, I can't wear my Kangos no more.
Yeah.
So I love my Kangos,
You
man.
see a Kango, there's an old man in the van.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I can't wear. Hey, back in the day, it was cool because I wasn't old, but now I'm older, man. I got some grays, man. I can't be looking like the old man. You know what I'm saying? Nah, man. Can't be looking like the old man, man. I like to
Yeah.
dress. I like to dress comfortable, man. Comfortable dad status. You
Yeah,
know what I'm talking
yeah.
about? Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah, yeah,
yeah,
man.
man. I
Yeah,
look, man, we just need y'all to participate, man. If you want to see change, man, you got to participate. And
yeah.
and
Stop
it's not.
listening to celebrities, man.
Yeah,
Stop,
stop listening to celebrities. Good gosh,
please.
just
God
stop.
dang, man.
Stop. Steve Harvey don't know what's best for you. Like they don't. They are going to protect their wealth.
Yeah, that's it, man. That's it. They're gonna protect their wealth. That's it. They're
Yeah,
protecting their money. They're protecting their money that they're gonna send offshores anyway.
yeah.
They don't keep their money in America. That's why a lot of y'all are paying taxes this year because of them Paul Ryan again, elections have consequences.
Yeah.
You get not only did Trump get elected, Trump had the House and he had the
Mm,
Senate,
mm.
and Paul Ryan went to work. Paul Ryan got them taxes passed, and that dude said, "I'm out,
Yep.
deuces."
He
And
said, I
guess
did
what,
my
y'all?
job.
I'm out. I did my job. Even though the CBO was saying, "Hey, in a few years, the tax burden is going to fall on, the thousandaires." You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Now y'all sitting here complaining because that tax check is light,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And
bruh.
Trump said he wants another one.
Bruh. Yeah, yeah, no, for real. So in the 2020 in the project 2025, they wanna pass an even lower tax rate.
Uh-uh.
You know what I'm saying? They wanna change it again. Oh, bruh. Oh my
You
god.
can
So they
you
wanna
imagine?
change the
You
tax
you
rate.
paying high, you change the tax rate, you pay higher tax rate, and they increase the age of
Social
of
Security,
people of Social Security.
you are they increase
Man,
the
you're gonna
age,
die on the job.
and they gonna want to lower a lot of the child labor. You know what I mean? So when these
Mhm,
children can work at 13, 14, maybe 13 years old,
mhm.
you gonna have somebody work from 13 to 75.
Yeah, yeah,
You
man.
take away their health care.
Yeah.
You take away their health care. You allow these people to you allow companies and corporations to poison the environment. You
Mm.
don't you don't there's no paid family time off. You don't make sure people have mental health services. You know what I'm saying? Like
There's
on
no more pensions
there's no
unless
more
you work for the
pensions. People,
government. Like,
man, they're already paying high price for higher education and trade schools and stuff like that. Excuse me. Look, man. It's not, you are getting as close. There's this great book, 1984. You can go listen to it on YouTube. I wouldn't read it; it's too dense. But you can just listen. I would say listen to it. And it talks about the utopian man that was established, where these folks created a society of have and have nots.
mm,
And that's what's happening. That's what's gonna happen to your children. They're not gonna be
mm,
owners of anything. It's
mhm.
gonna be neo serfdom. They're not gonna own anything. You know what I'm saying? And folks, man, people think it's hyperbole, but it's not. It really is not.
Oh,
You
nothing.
own nothing. You own nothing, but you work for
Yeah.
everything. Yeah,
Oof.
you work for everything, man.
Yeah, I'd had to talk my son off that ledge, man.
Man.
Because he was talking about, man, I don't want to buy no house, you know. I'm going to get rid of my car, and there's no point of a car because of pollution. I had to say, hey, son,
Mhm,
slow
mhm,
down,
mhm,
slow
mhm.
down. Said you're
Yeah,
talking about a utopia that does not benefit you,
yeah, for
and
real,
like
man.
literally had to explain that to him. I was just like, so what's going to happen if everybody start thinking like you and don't have a car? And then
Mm.
you got to rely on, public transit. Eventually, they're going to start cutting that to only certain people can afford it.
You live in a place like South Carolina that has no good public transit.
Yeah, yeah, and I'm, kind of just walking
No
him
high
through that.
no high-speed rail. We don't have a high-speed rail in this country.
We ain't got no
You
high speed
can't even
rail,
you
bro.
can't you can't even get from Charlotte to Miami, like
Yeah, yeah,
oh, man, bruh. It is
yeah,
bad. Look,
and
I was telling folks at work, man, I was like, "Look, that Obama movie, that did not deter me from getting an electric car.
yeah,
I did not care about them Teslas crashing into each other. I'm still gonna get an electric car 'cause I don't wanna pay these gas prices. I'm done. I am done paying these gas. Like, my car get taken over in the middle of me driving, hey, that's just the consequence I'm gonna have, man, you know what I'm saying?
well, that's the other thing you bringing up.
What's that?
Trump get elected, gas prices going to soar to $7, man. I guarantee.
Oh yeah, I mean, with what's going on with Russia, his support of Russia, number one, which is strange
Yeah,
because Republicans are all of a sudden supporting Russia. All of a sudden, I mean, it's not all of a sudden.
yeah,
This happened during the Trump presidency, and now now they're supporting Russia. Yeah, and we know that Russia is the second outside of the Arabian the OPEC countries.
mhm, mhm,
Russia is leading in natural oil and oil. And so, during the Trump presidency, there was a point where gas went under $2.
yep,
Well, that happened because Saudi Arabia and Russia was arguing over oil prices. Well, Saudi Arabia flooded the market with oil. So that's why those prices dipped so low. And then Trump got on there, was like, I'm the reason, that like, no, you're not. You weren't the reason. It was Saudi Arabia and Russia having an argument. You know what I mean? And Saudi Arabia was like, oh, I will show you. You know what I'm saying? We'll
yeah,
show you, Russia. We're gonna flood these market. And guess what? Every country in the world has to purchase oil in dollar,
$1.
which is why China now is a threat now because China is trying to become, the new currency essentially. They want to become the new currency because if you
Yeah,
trade in the dollar, well, guess what? You also have to speak in
hmm,
English
mhm,
on the world market. You know what I'm saying?
mhm.
So on and so forth. You know what I'm saying? That's
A
what's going
good
on.
person to follow is Mr. Global on
Mm,
TikTok
okay.
because he is a oil exec.
Mm-hmm.
So he breaks down um, the data that he sees.
Mm-hmm.
Um, he's been in the industry over 30 something years. Um, and he explains what's happening in the oil market.
Mm-hmm.
Um, which again, you know, people believe in Trump at the surface level.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But like looking into like how it works, how it functioned, what really happened, and so forth. Um, where people don't realize since since Bush, we had the most bankruptcies
Mm-hmm.
from oil companies
Mm-hmm.
since Bush
Wow.
under Trump.
Mm.
So when he made that deal with OPEC and the Saudis, it it literally caused companies to file bankruptcy.
Mm. Yeah. Crazy. Well, we didn't get to our boy Tim Scott there. We're gonna stall him out. As they saying that, as they say in Cali. We're gonna stall him out. We're gonna stall him out. You know what I mean? From his coonery and buffoonery.
Um,
Yeah, we didn't get to him. Yeah.
yeah.
Anyway, we're gonna get the last comments here, man. What's your last comment, bro?
Man, my last comment, man, is it's going to focus on our previous topic, man, and we're probably going to stress this from show to show to show to show.
Mm-hmm.
And go vote, Go vote, man. Every election, that's special election and so forth. Keep in mind, I also got to tell myself because I missed the last special election. Well, the last midterm election here in South Carolina. Keep in mind, we're too deep in the red that I ain't
Mhm,
gonna see no effect anyway.
mhm,
But at the end of the day, I still got to participate
mhm.
regardless, um, because in my little town, only 15-17% of people vote.
Oof.
Um, so you talking about a town of less than 15, 13,000 people. Yeah, they're lucky if they get 800 people to actually vote.
Mhm.
In
Wow.
most cases, I think it's somewhere around like 13, 1400. So, you know,
Crazy, man.
yeah, yeah.
It's crazy times, and I don't think people understand the times that we live in, man. We're living in currently, um, right now. It's not a joke, man. I'll just piggyback, as we say in the military, off your way off what you say. You know what I mean? It's not a joke, man. It really isn't. This isn't about entertainment, man. This is about the future. You know what I mean? Whether you care about your It's it's really gonna show whether you care about your kids or not, or whether you care about yourself. You know what I mean? Especially those who are like 35 and up. You know what I'm saying? You should have some discernment. You should be those of us who are 35 and up, we are the knowledge base right now for our younger generation. And I get it, man. There's 50-year-olds and 40-year-olds who are acting like they 20. You know what I'm saying? They're the ones with all the big podcasts, and they're the ones who out here just aren't being knowledge leaders. You know what I'm saying? So it's leaving a big void. You feel what I'm saying? And so you know what I mean? Like um uh, uh um the direction we've taken, with this platform is so that people can understand the gravity of what is going on come November. You know what I mean? Like it's not just about the presidency, all that noise about Biden's age and stuff. It's really about Kamala Harris. That's really what it's about. That's the underlying tone. You know what I'm saying? But it's also about having 60 senators. If you had 60 senators right now, you would have child tax credit. You would more than likely have free reduced college. You would probably have healthcare, free reduced healthcare right now. All those things that Biden said he would sign. He would probably sign it right now. You know what I'm saying? You would probably have HR 40 pass right now. HR 40 is still in committee, which is the reparations study. You can't even get study out. You can't even get the study out of committee. You know what I'm saying? Um, and so, you need more people. And I'm gonna say it, you need more Democrats in the House and you need more Democrats in the Senate, man. Like that's really what it comes down to. Yeah, yeah, man. I am vote blue. Well, I am personally vote blue. Uh, it does matter who, but at the end of the day, I'm voting blue. I just
Yeah.
yeah, that's where we're at. That's just where we're at. But yeah, man, you sound like you had something you got something to say, bro.
No, no, man. No, you said it. Because man, I hate when people sit back and talk about, oh, it's blue no matter who. No, 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 no.
Mm,
It's blue, but it does matter who.
mhm.
And at the end of the day, ain't nobody in red,
Yeah,
and they gonna cause me to be dead.
yeah, for
Okay,
real.
you know what I'm saying? Like it is a problem when you sit back and you say that, and there's no follow up to sit back and say, well, who the hell I'm gonna sit back and vote for on the red side that's gonna make sure that I retire, that makes sure I got health care, that makes sure that my kids can be can have college at a decent price so they can afford to be able to have a house. Man, tell me a politician on that side that is doing that. You
Mhm.
can't name one.
Yeah,
So don't tell me or try to discourage me to vote for a Democrat because they are sitting here putting a plan together.
that's what I'm saying. I know if I have more of them, I know I know the outcome would be better. It'll be
Yeah.
better if I got more of them. If I got more of them right now, man. Right
think I'm
now,
gonna vote for somebody that's trying to take away rights. Hell no.
nah, man, that's just dumb. That's just dumb. And then, yeah, man, you need it. And again, the legislative body is in the House and the Senate. You have 60. If you have 60% of the House and the Senate, you can veto any presidential legislation. So, it wouldn't matter if Trump is the president. These
Mhm,
yahoos go out here and vote for Trump. It wouldn't matter.
mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Because you can veto the legislation. It's kind of like how Trump likes to talk about the HBCU. Oh man, I passed the HBCU. No, you did not. It was
Yeah,
veto-proof piece of legislation. Got a
yeah,
Democrat. I can't remember her name, but
from North Carolina.
yeah, she put the money back into the bill. You know what I'm
He
saying?
wanted to strip it
He
completely out.
stripped it out. Yeah, he stripped it out initially. She put it
Yes,
back in. And
yes.
so, and then it became a bipartisan veto-proof piece of legislation. He ceremonially signed it. And again, and maybe we'll talk about it. Maybe I'll talk about it on the next one. People don't have a misunderstanding of what the presidency is and what the president actually does. You know what I mean? A lot of what the president
Bona
does is
fide paper pusher.
yeah, it's ceremonial. A lot of it is ceremonial. It really is. It's ceremonial. It's showing face here and there. It's really not crafting legislation. Sure, they have some input,
Yeah.
but like Joe Manchin and Christian Sinema showed, or John McCain, right? When the Republicans wanted to get rid of the Obamacare, right? John
Mhm.
McCain comes in off his sick bed, deathbed, and gives it a thumbs down. You know what I'm saying? So the presidency is not this powerful, this extremely powerful position that
Mhm.
folks outside of the military. It is not this really extremely powerful position that people think it is. You know what I'm saying? Because people, again, our Ronald Reagan, you will pay for your crimes. Because our education has been stripped when we
Yeah.
taught civics classes in school. You know what I'm saying? To get people to understand civics, to get people to understand the power of them participating in politics and things of that nature. You know what I'm
I
saying?
think
That
we
was
do need to talk about that because you're pointing out something, and man, I'm not going to be long about it, but when people criticize that Joe Biden didn't do anything and not realizing it's not his job,
not his job.
that is Congress and the in the Senate. Like that's their job.
Yeah. Obama
And
was saying this for 6 years.
yeah,
Kept saying,
and Joe Biden has been up there since day one, sitting here telling the House and the Senate, "Hey, I need something.
yeah,
I need you guys to sit back and do your job." He's been saying it. And what's
yeah.
happening is then he has to step in with an executive order
Mhm.
and do what the House and the Senate should have done. And then
Yeah.
you know what happens? Then the Republican Party sues him. Then it
Mm.
goes to the Supreme Court.
Mhm.
And then you blame Joe Biden for
Just like the student loan.
it. Good God, man.
Just like black farmers.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just like the black farmers. Um, you know what I'm saying? Again, people just do not have an understanding of politics. You know what I mean? And then you listen to an individual like Charlemagne, the guy who has zero understanding of politics. Zero. Zero. Stop listening to that man. Stop
Get a
listening.
platform to be able to talk to people
Yeah. Just to be dumb.
about something he don't know.
He don't know. He doesn't know. You know what I mean? Like the time he asked Kamala Harris, is Joe Manchin the president? Sir, he's a senator.
Good
Do you not understand the power he has? He doesn't have to go along with the president of the
God.
party. Like he does. We're not a parliament.
Mm,
People think we're a parliament, and we're not a parliamentary system.
mm,
We are a democracy.
mm.
People can disagree, even within political parties. Even though the Republican Party are a collective in their voice and they are collective in their decisions, we are a democracy. People like, hey,
Now you done brought up something else that we gotta
yeah,
talk about.
what's up?
This whole stupid monolith stuff, man.
Yeah,
That we keep on sitting here rehashing over and over again, but not realizing the Republican Party is becoming a monolith.
no, it is. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? Like
For
they are
real.
becoming a monolith because that's how you pass laws.
Yeah. No, 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 you right, man. Yeah. No, you
Like
right, man.
it's it is foolish and it is stupid to not have a collective thought.
Bro. Yeah, you
Like
right,
it is crazy. How can one person can't protest the roads are messed up?
man. Hmm.
You need to have a collective group of angry people to protest, hey, you need to fix this road,
Yeah.
which means that you need a monolithic thought on fixing the darn roads.
Yeah.
Good God,
Yeah, man.
man.
All right, man. We
Yeah.
we gonna keep going. This will be another, another topic next week, man. Next week, yeah. Yeah, man. Appreciate the folks that tuned in, man. All I seen all the thumbs up and everything, man. Appreciate that. Appreciate the folks that's going to tune in, man. And we are work with your boy now. Come on now. Come on. Best at work with your boy.
Trying to get the ancestors to take us out.
Yeah. Try to, man. But man, technology, man. There we go. All right. Man. We got it, man. All right, man. We up out of here, man.
All right.
Right.
Podcast. Peace out.